But yeah, let's go ahead and get started with this week's unit, which is statistics and probability. Before we start, can anyone tell me what they know about probability? Tara?
I think from last year, even though I guess I have like when over summer you kind of forget things, but probabilities like what are the chances of something happening?
Yeah, that's a perfect way to say it. So probability are, well, it's looking into how likely something is going to happen. And we see this pretty commonly. It's not something that's only given to us in numbers. So for example, the weather app, you might check and it's saying Thursday there's going to be a 50% chance of rain, or even just choosing a line at the grocery store. We're going to pick the shortest line because it's more probable that it will go by faster and we will get to the front. Or even just checking your Amazon and seeing that your package is going to arrive in 2 days. That's the website, guessing the likelihood based on like shipping estimate. So yeah, I mean, can anyone tell me another real world example of how you've seen probability? Sarah?
I was gonna say like in school, maybe like multiple choice questions. I guess that's a form of probability.
Yeah, I mean, have, you know, if you have four answer choices and all of them you have no idea what to pick, I guess guessing one would be a 25% chance that it's right. Or maybe you did process of elimination and you were able to break it down to, okay, it's between two answer choices. Well, now there's a 50% chance that you're right, right? So, we want to go over important vocabulary concerning probability. So we already went over probability, but when we're doing this in experiments or just in general in engineering, there's different words that we want to use. So, for example, outcome, a possible result of an experiment or action. So, flipping a coin can have two outcomes. It can give you either heads or tails. Um, that's just one example of an outcome. Or also predicting, which is just to make a smart guess about how something will happen based on data or past experience. And we're going to go into that a little bit more after we go into probability. Um, Finding out how data can tell us things. Also, oh yes, okay. Next one would be likely or unlikely. So if something has less than a 50% chance of happening, you'd consider that unlikely, right? It's likely that you're going to eat lunch today. It's unlikely that you flew today. Um, when we're considering experiments with probability, there's different levels to it, right? You can have a fair outcome where it's all of your outcomes have an equal chance, so die, right? Or flipping a coin. That might not be the same as weather because you can see or predict, we have people studying that and finding out which is more likely to happen. Um, But all that to say doesn't mean that what you guess a probability will be is what you're actually going to find? So there's theoretical probability, which is what math says you should happen in the perfect world. So theoretical probability of heads is 1 and 2, right? You might flip a coin to, no, you might flip a coin 10 times and think you're going to get heads five of those times and tails five of those, the other five times. And then maybe you do it in real life and you get seven heads. So then you think, well, maybe I have a greater chance at getting heads. Maybe it's not a half chance, but that's simply not true. Um, you'll find that the more you do something, the more you experiment with something, um, it's going to get closer and closer to that theoretical probability. So, for example, flipping a coin 10 times wasn't super accurate. But if you flip it 1,000 times, it's going to get closer to that 50%. So, let's go over how we can put it in numbers, right? Um, if we have a desired outcome that is not likely to happen at all, it'll be impossible to occur. But if it's something that every single event that could happen involves it, then it must happen, right? Let's look at an example, right? There are five colored marbles in a box. What is the probability of picking the blue marble? Can anyone tell me?
Like 10% or sorry, 5% maybe. I don't know.
It would be it'd be one in five, right? So I guess that would be 20%. Um, right? Because our number of desired outcomes is one. There's only one blue marble, and the total number of outcomes is five because there's five marbles total. We can look at a different example. Um, for picking, oh, sorry, I showed you guys the answer there. Um, picking a green marble, what what do you guys think the probability for that would be?
Like in
Aiden, did you say something?
Maybe a 3 out of 5 chance.
Yes, 3 out of 5. You guys don't have to raise your hands. I know I said that in the beginning, but you guys can just speak out. It's fine with me. Yeah, it would be a 3 out of 5 chance, which is also 60%. So you're more likely to pick a green marble than you would to pick a blue marble. Let's look at this one more time. What are the chances you pick a black marble out of this same box? Can anyone tell me?
Like a 0% chance.
Yeah, 0% chance. There's zero black marbles, so we have zero desired outcomes. And I mean, yeah, that just gets you zero. There's no chance you're getting a black marble. I think now we're gonna go into an activity, yes. So I have a website that leads to a virtual dice roller, and I want you guys change this to one die and just roll it as many times or as many few times that you can. I'm gonna link this into the Zoom chat right now. I'm not sure if I can do that while I'm sharing my screen. So I will, hmm, I will stop sharing my screen in a second and I will link this. But basically what I want you guys to do is to roll it as many or as little times as you like, noting down what you get in each roll. So what I would do is I would just write numbers 1 through 6, and then every time I roll it, just like put a tally next to that number. And when your timer is up, I won't put a timer on the screen just so the instructions can still be up, but I'll let you guys know when your time is up. And when that happens, once you guys come back, I want you guys to kind of talk about what you found from this. Um, was anything unexpected? Did you roll some numbers more than others? So let me go ahead and stop screen sharing so I can copy this down. All right, in the chat, I want you guys to click on that link. I'm going to put the instructions back up right now. And you guys have 5 minutes. I'll start the timer now. That was the situation in which all chances to get every number was fair. Um, moving on from probability though, I do want to go into how we use data in the real world. So in experiments of probability where all outcomes have a fair chance, um, they don't present correlation to things. We can use probability in engineering, in industry, in business. We can look at something and say, okay, it's more probable. Let me think of an example. Let's say you have a t-shirt company and your SpongeBob t-shirts are selling out. Well, it's more probable that they're going to keep selling out because they've been selling out for years. So it'd be a smart decision to order more stock of them. So we can use probability to help us, but we can also use other forms of data to talk to us, to tell us what they're saying. It's what engineers use in the real world. So for example, in my math class here last year, I was given data concerning the total number of headphones sold each year. And from this data, I found out that after like throughout the years, more and more headphones have sold. And that data is telling me that more people are buying them, right? Um, when we think about data and data analysis, we're trying to get it to tell us something. And a lot of the time we can do that by graphing it if we're not just looking by the numbers. Yeah, we can find that by graphing it. So let's look at an example. This is a chart showing the Harry Potter movies released in their order and the numbers of views they got in millions. So, for example, you can see here, like this would be the first movie, and over here it would be saying that it had 40 million views. Can anyone tell me the correlation of this? Can anyone say like what this data is telling us?
Um, can I answer?
Yeah,
So I'm not sure because I can't see like the at the bottom of the graph, but I think it's the most like as the years go by, the more people view it. Is that what you're asking, or is that the answer?
I guess well here. Sorry, I can't move this right now, but this would be the fifth movie. This would be the 10th movie. So each
Okay.
fainted line is like the first one, the second, third.
Okay. So it's like a decline, like less people are watching it.
Yes, exactly. A decline. That's a perfect answer. Um, we look at data like this, and they probably looked at this data and thought, okay, well, it's still getting 20 million views, which is insane, but maybe it's time to stop, which I'm assuming that was by their eighth movie, right? Um, that's the data I found. I'm assuming they only came out with eight movies. But that's how we use data to tell us information. We don't use it or look at it and say like, well, we can't get anything out of these numbers. We don't know what it's saying. It's telling us things, especially when we do stuff like graph it. Um, I want to go back. No, hold on. Oh, okay, sorry. I was just now checking the chat. I found out how to use it. I do want to go back to the vocabulary that we went over because I think I'm a little bit over time or under time. Um, and just think about predictions, predictions, it's not just in probability, it's in data like this. And I don't know if you guys really knew why I spoke about energy, why we went over that concept last week. Um, but it's things that engineers have to consider, right? Um, this class is based on my engineering science class. So I'm connecting it to units that we actually learned, to data analysis, to energy, because that's especially used in mechanical and civil engineering. This would probably be used most in industrial engineering, which is like manufacturing, business. Um, I think I'm a little bit under time, but that's okay because I want to talk about y'all's homework. So for this week's homework, you guys get to pick it. So you can either take data on something of your choice. The example I put here is graphing how long the washer takes depending on how big or small your load is. That's kind of a boring example. I feel like you guys come up with something so much funner. Um, or you can determine the experimental and theoretical probability of a household game or like item. So if you have a bag of Skittles and it tells you how many Skittles are in it, you can predict how many Skittles of each color are going to come in and then count them and then note down what you actually got. Um, I'm gonna upload a submission by tonight where you guys can post not only your data, but also a small explanation where you just kind of talk about what your data told you or why it's different if you pick the second choice. It's you either do the sorry, did someone have a question? Oh, never mind. You either do the data one or the probability one. You could do both. I'm not stopping you. That would be amazing for you guys. Um, but yeah, if you have an idea in mind right now and you're not sure if it's fitting or appropriate, you can definitely ask. Um, does anyone have any idea just right now, like maybe I can do this that they'd like to, you know, propose or just see if it would be approved?